There is one thing Cristiano Ronaldo has never done. Not once. In over 2 decades as one of the 2 greatest footballers alive, he has won the Champions League 5 times, the Ballon d'Or 5 times. League titles in 3 different countries, but the one trophy that defines legacy in this sport, the World Cup, has never touched his hands, and in 2026, at 41 years old, he gets one final chance to fix that. This is the story of why it might actually happen and why it almost certainly won't. Here's why this gap matters more than any other in his career. Club football rewards consistency over a season. The World Cup rewards a nation once every 4 years for 1 month. It's the only trophy Ronaldo cannot simply outwork his way to. He needs Portugal's golden generation to align perfectly with his own twilight years. And historically, that almost never happens for the greatest individual talents. Messi needed Argentina to build an entire team around him for nearly 2 decades before 2022 finally arrived. Ronaldo's Portugal has never had that same singular focus. Let's look at the actual record. Ronaldo has played in 5 World Cups: 2006, 2010, 2014, 2018, and 2022. That alone is a record for his nation. He has 8 World Cup goals across those tournaments. His best finish was the semifinals in 2006 as a 21-year-old. Since then, Portugal's deepest run has been the quarterfinals in 2006, and that's it. No quarterfinal appearances since. In 2022, in Qatar, came the lowest point, benched for the round of 16 against Switzerland, watching from the sidelines as his replacement, Gonçalo Ramos, scored a hat-trick. Ronaldo came on as a substitute. Scored as by every measure the most symbolic moment of his World Cup career, the changing of the guard, happening in real time on the biggest stage there is. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because 2 patterns from football history actually matter for Ronaldo's case. First, no host nation has won the World Cup since France in 1998. Qatar, Russia, Brazil, South Africa all eliminated early as hosts. That's not relevant to Portugal directly, since they're not hosting in 2026, but it tells us something bigger. Recent World Cups have been historically unpredictable, and favorites have fallen constantly. That unpredictability is actually good news for an underdog story like Ronaldo's. Second, and this is the part people get wrong, age has stopped being the disqualifier people think it is. Ronaldo played Euro 2024 at 39 years old and started every single group game. Luka Modric led Croatia to the World Cup semi-finals at 36 and the quarterfinals again at 37. The data doesn't support the idea that a 41-year-old simply cannot compete anymore. It supports the idea that fitness, role, and team structure matter far more than the number on a birth certificate. Here's the part of the story that actually gives Ronaldo a real chance. He is no longer the center of this Portugal team, and that might be exactly what saves him. Vitinha is dictating midfields for PSG. Pedro Neto is tearing past defenders in the Premier League. João Neves, barely in his 20s, is already one of the most complete young midfielders in Europe. This is statistically the deepest talent pool Portugal has had around Ronaldo in his entire international career. In 2006, he was the future, surrounded by an aging generation. In 2026, he is the past, surrounded by players entering their absolute prime. The roles have reversed, and for once, that reversal works in his favor. So let's be balanced about this. The case for Ronaldo winning the World Cup in 2026, the deepest supporting cast of his career, a precedent of 39-year-olds still performing at the highest level, and a Portugal squad with genuine quality at every position, not just up front. The case against, he will be 41 by the time the tournament kicks off, older than any outfield player to start a World Cup final in the modern era. His pace, the one weapon that defined his early career, is gone. And Portugal still has to get through France, England, Brazil, Argentina, or whoever else stands between them and the final against teams with arguably more complete squads. The honest answer is this: it is not likely, but it is not impossible. And that's exactly why the story is worth watching. Whatever happens in 2026, this is almost certainly the final chapter of Cristiano Ronaldo's World Cup story. Not a tragedy. 5 tournaments, 8 goals, and 2 decades at the top of the sport is not a tragedy by any definition, but it is unfinished. And in football, unfinished stories are the ones we remember the longest. So here's the question I'll leave you with. Does Ronaldo need to win the World Cup to be remembered as one of the 2 greatest players of all time, or is that debate already over, trophy or not? Comment your answer below. And if you want more breakdowns like this throughout the entire 2026 World Cup, subscribe, because this tournament is going to be the biggest story football has told in years, and we're going to break down every single moment of it.